Hello, basement dwellers, degenerates, and scrufftards. Welcome to the war zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Skruffytalez. And might be some background noise. Sorry for that. But it is what it is. Anyway, in this video, we will take a look at the situation at Pokrovsk and the fact that it has become a massive Russian disaster. The breakthrough operation, this big bunny ears situation, has become the largest disaster for the Russian army since 2022, and we're looking at a massive defeat for the Russians north of Pokrovsk. They overextended, and the Ukrainians are punishing them like you wouldn't believe. So let's take a look. Right, so a lot of things have been happening over the weekend, a lot of interesting things, and basically all the maps are showing some advance of the one kind of the other for the Ukrainians north of Pokrovsk. And this is the latest from Deep State, where we can see an indication, according to Deep State, that Ukraine is pushing in from the north and the south to try and reach these vital bridges that the Russians rely upon to conduct operations north of Pokrovsk, west of the river. And everything combined, we'll take a look at how it all combines into a whole, does show that Ukraine intends to cut off and isolate huge numbers of Russians. But before we do that, I want to highlight this as well. I mean, this all began on the 11th of August when Russia made this big push towards the Syrsky line. And less than a month later, we're seeing this situation where Ukraine is pushing back, cutting off Russian units, and is now almost completely encircling several areas of the Russian front line. And I mean, when this began, I saw the wildest comments from the Vatny crowd that this is a new Operation Bagration, where the Russians will just steamroll through Ukrainian lines and push on and crush the Ukrainian army. This was the proper breakthrough, the collapsing front line and what have you. And it's only a matter of days before Pokrovsk will fall and everything. Wild takes. And here we are, less than a month later. Quite clearly, the Russians have overextended. They could not plug the gaps that was created when they were pushing this hard into Ukrainian territory, and the Ukrainians are punishing them for it. And as I will show you, this might maybe have been the plan all along. Because if we backtrack a bit and take a look at the defensive fortification map here and zoom in on Pokrovsk, we can see here that Ukraine has left all of these weird gaps. And you know me, I've been talking about this for quite some time now, for a couple of months, why Ukraine has done this, trying to figure out why they would leave these gaps. And I've been talking about maybe it's intentional kill zones, because these are areas with very few trenches and very few bunkers. So if Russia pushes in here, they don't have as many defensive positions where they can hide from artillery and what have you. It's also a path of least resistance. If Russia pushes into these areas, they become very predictable. Ukraine knows where Russia will move next, since they're going to be following these easier paths, avoiding the heavy defended areas. And also, should Russia do all of this, they end up in a very narrow corridor where they will be outflanked and harassed from every side by Ukrainian artillery, guns, and drones. If I can try and highlight, I mean, imagine if Russia pushes in this way, as we've more or less seen, and say they try and make it all the way to Dobropilya in this case. This is Dobropilya. Down here you have Pokrovsk, Mirnorad, Rodynske, and up here is Shakove. So I mean, this is basically essentially what Russia did. Instead of going for Dobropilya, they went straight north towards this massive defensive hub. And as you can see, it's just a narrow corridor where they can be harassed from every angle. And if they want to supply the frontline units, they are obviously in trouble. It's a long way to push logistics to try and reach the guys at the tip of the spear, as it were. And this has made me wonder, has Ukraine done all of this on purpose? Was this the plan all along? And when the Russians did try and make that push up to the Syrsky line, within a day or two, Ukraine launched a big counterattack with some very high-end units, as we all know, as if they were ready and waiting. And also, Russia has been pushing towards Shakova for ages. I mean, I was talking about Shakova at the beginning of the year, if not earlier, right? Yeah, I think it's almost a year ago or something. I was talking about Russia coming up this way. And as we can see, Ukraine has built a huge defensive hub. Take a look at the Syrsky line. Right here at Shakova, they've decided to build this thing, this huge fortification, right behind those vital bridges at Shakova, and right at the end of all of these gaps, at the end of the path of least resistance. And this is where they had highly elite units ready and waiting for a potential Russian breakthrough. I don't know. And take a look at what I'm going to show you on this next image. I mean, the Vatniks are gonna go ape shit loco over this. Take a look. So here you have how the Russians pushed in, tried to move north towards Kucherev Yar and or push north into the Syrsky line. And where has Ukraine launched their counterattacks? They cut through here, isolating Kucherev Yar. Sorry. They've been trying to push through here to Boykivka, essentially trying to isolate Chakova. They've come up from the south toward Razina, isolating the pocket at Rodinsky and pushing through Novoekonomice, trying to reach Myrne, which puts them in a position to maybe create a pocket over here. And take a look where the pockets are, where there are no prepared defensive positions for the Russians. Right? Definitely three distinct pockets where the Ukrainians are trying to cut in and isolate the Russians in these pockets void of prepared trenches and bunkers. Isn't that amazing? I mean, add everything up with the big fortification, path of least resistance, big counterattack by high-end units, leaving the Russians in these pockets where there are no trenches and no bunkers. Coincidence? I don't know. Leave a comment if you think all of this is a coincidence or if the Ukrainians actually had a plan with all of this. Now let's go and take a look at my map where we try and combine all the updates over the weekend. So we are my map north of Pokrovsk. Let's zoom in and take a look. We know we have Russians in Kucherev Yar, all maps. I just need to mention this though. The Russians, according to them, this was on their maps. This was a massive success, and we have Russians in full control of this area. They're still pushing to the west here, and there is not a single Ukrainian. What the hell is the map doing? Not a single Ukrainian counterattack highlighted basically anywhere on the Russian along the Russian front line map. It's hilarious. I wonder how the Russians are going to explain what's happening now, since on their map everything is going according to plan. It's really interesting. Anyway, reality is that the Russians are holed up in Kucherev Yar. All maps now essentially agree that they've been pushed back. You might still have stragglers, small units operating. May very well be the case, but the main force is holed up in Kucherev Yar, and here we have the first encirclement. So this is the Kucherev Yar pocket. Now we have the Shakova pocket, where the Ukrainians pushed in this way into these valleys, trying to reach Boykivka. We had Ukrainians confirmed in Boykivka, but since then we haven't really seen it being updated as under Ukrainian control, which means that I'm thinking Russia is in control, but I'm putting it as a question mark just to highlight the importance of it, because at Boykivka you have a key bridge over these marshes and the river, and if Ukraine can lock down this small village and that bridge, Russia can't push supplies and logistics across the river. This is key. Boykivka is the key to the entire thing, because holding Boykivka creates the Shakova pocket and the Rodinsky pocket. Sorry, bit of edit there. Where was I? Pushing for Boykivka, creating the Shakova pocket, and in so doing, you create the Rodinske pocket. And it all ties up with the situation down here at Myrne. We know that Ukraine pushed in, took control of Nova Ekonomice, and trying to push towards Myrne and having troops in Myrne. This threatened Russian supply lines coming up through Kopcheve, and after Kopcheve they eventually reach Novotoretsk and Boykivka. So this supply line here is what Russia relies on to keep fighting to the west of the river. Now Ukraine has tied down the bridge at Novotoretsk-Boykivka, cutting supplies across the river. Going south, they have also, according to Deep State now, pushed out of Nova Ekonomice, threatening these windbreaks on the high ground here at Razine, and that makes it difficult for Russia to utilize this crossing point, and moving through Razine as well, with the Ukrainians coming in from the south. I forgot this actually. We also have on Deep State this push towards Novotoretsk in the outskirts here from the north. So, I mean, all in all, as you can see here, combine everything, the Ukrainians have more or less successfully created these three pockets, isolating the Russians. And you might say, yeah, sure, Russia can still supply them with drones, which they can, which they probably will try. But it's one thing if you try and supply 100 guys in Kucherev Yar and can send 20, 30 drones flying back and forth, supplying them. But now they need to supply this pocket. They have a couple of hundred, if not a couple of thousand troops here in this pocket. And the same thing goes for down here at Rodinske. All of a sudden, those supply drones need to make more, supply more troops. They have to fly to more locations. They have to expose themselves more often to Ukrainian countermeasures. And you can't bring in enough supplies to keep all of these troops fighting together with these troops as well as these troops. Kucherev Yar, yes, Russia could have kept supplying the troops in Kucherev Yar with the drones. I'm skeptical that they will be able to rely on drones to supply the entire front line and these three distinct pockets that have been cut off. Beyond that, we know that Ukraine is pushed down here into this valley, pushing Russia away from Shakova. We also know that, or rather, we have seen on, I think it was Novel Reports, on their map update. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but according to Novel Reports and their map, this area here, east of Nova Ekonomice, has been liberated by Ukraine. And if that is true, then Ukraine has cracked open the Russian defenses and opened up the road leading to Myrne, which is a huge deal because, as we said, then Ukraine can begin operations towards Kopcheve and that fourth and last pocket. I mean, this is a complete disaster for the Russians. A monstrous disaster for the Russians. Meanwhile, the Russian pro-Russian Vatnik accounts, they're talking about this imaginary push into the center of Pokrovsk, which we haven't seen updated on any map. I think it's been ongoing for a week, these reports that Russia has taken the center of town, according to the Vatnik channels. I mean, it's complete bullshit. And according to the Vatnik channels, Russia has a coherent line here north towards the Syrsk line, and they're even pushing in to reclaiming Novoshakova and stuff like that. Completely ignoring reality that the Ukrainians are pushing back and creating these pockets where they can grind down isolated Russian units. That's all I have for you. Well, let's see how this plays out in the coming week. Didn't think there would be these many updates over the weekend, but holy hell, things have been happening. So looking forward to this week. No wonder Russia is moving in all the reinforcements that they can because they need them. Russia is losing at the moment, big time north of Pokrovsk. Well, that's gonna have to be it. I hope I'll see you in the next one. As always, go på marsch, Ukraine, and give them hell.